If it is Monday night, it is the Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. It is ridiculously over. Anthony Florio sitting in tonight for Derek Pereira on this very busy Monday night indeed. Not just because of this go-home edition of Monday Night Raw for Battleground, but also because of the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby, which is why Derek Pereira is not joining us tonight. However, Derek will be back with us this upcoming Friday night for Strictly Sports. I'll get to that just at the end of our show tonight. So with that said, we're here on the Zone 25 as always. Not whenever I'm filming it anyway. So I'm joined as always by my esteemed colleagues, of course, the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, and of course, the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Michael Bullock. Of course, we got a big night tonight. So without further ado, gentlemen, let's get into it. We started off the show tonight with an in-ring segment. Shocker, right? To the surprise of no one. It was the WWE World Heavyweight Champion John Cena coming out, and he was interrupted by Roman Reigns, and then interrupted by Dean Ambrose, and then Dean Ambrose basically gets the snot beat out of him by the Authority, Randy Orton, Kane, and Seth Rollins. So, thoughts on this segment? I'm going to start it off as always. So, solid segment here to start the show. Not the segment of the night by any means. There's a segment in the show that I thought was better, if I'm being honest. But this was a good start to the show. Cena cutting. Cena doing what he always does, doing his thing as always. I mean, I love the serious nature on the stick there. That's good, as opposed to the corny, campy comedy, somewhat PG over the top PG poster boy. But no, he was fine here. And then Roman Reigns, cut him off a little bit. It looked like they were going to go at it, and Dean Ambrose comes in and brings his intensity. I love that as well. And then the beatdown, well executed beatdown as well. And yeah, it definitely set the stage for the main event, and it also set the stage for the two big main events come the Battleground pay-per-view, of course, the four-way for the title, and of course Seth Rollins against Dean Ambrose. And of course, we're going to have a lot of thoughts on. We're going to have some early thoughts on this on the Battleground pay-per-view, of course, which is this upcoming Sunday night. Of course, it's the preview before the preview, if you will. Of course, we're going to have a big preview show this weekend, I'm sure you know. But don't worry, I'll set the table for all future content, when it comes to our shows at the end of our show. So bear with me on that. But overall, I thought this was a very solid segment, a great way to start the show. I would say between second to third best segment of the night. There's one segment that I thought was just absolutely incredible. I think you guys know where I'm going with it. So there's really nothing left for me to say here, except I'm just going to toss it up to our Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mr. Michael Bullock. So, Mr. Bullock, your thoughts on this opening segment, sir?
All right, thank you very much. Ridiculously over, Anthony Florio, and of course the President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement. Yes, this is the Phenom, Mike Bullock, and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement. Here on another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Delighted to be here as always. I thought this was a solid segment to start the show, and I do agree this is pretty much the second best segment of the night. And of course, John Cena, of course, being the serious guy instead of the campy comedy, being the campy comedy funny guy that, of course, everybody can't stand. And of course, he basically cuts a little promo, and then of course Roman Reigns comes out, and then of course John Cena basically says, "Look, Roman, let's get Kane and Orton out of the way, and then of course you and me one-on-one in the Fatal 4-Way at Battleground, and then of course the two of them look at them have a nice little face-to-face, and then Dean Ambrose shows up on the screen and says, "Hey, what's going on? We're supposed to be fighting tonight. 6-man tag team, boys." Ambrose says, of course, the Authority always has a plan, but he has one of his own, and it starts with Reigns and Cena basically stop arguing or bitching with each other, and then all of a sudden Kane and Seth Rollins appear out of nowhere and beat the snot out of Dean Ambrose, and then here comes the Viper Randy Orton to basically join in the fray, and boy howdy, I mean, he really got the got the snot beat out of him. I mean, Kane basically slammed him into a door, and Orton then sends Ambrose back first into a door, and then of course Seth Rollins gets a at the top of box and curb stomps Ambrose, and man, I mean, that was just a total beatdown there on Dean Ambrose. So to me, I mean, this is the second best segment of the night, and a solid way to start off Monday Night Raw. So with that being said, let's get to our resident Viper, Mr. Michael Fletcher, for his thoughts on the segment.
Hey guys, what's going on? No, I agree. I think it was a very good segment, very solid to start the Monday Night Raw. I was expecting the Authority to come out and, set the table like they always do, but then it was the Golden Boy, John Cena. Yeah, eyes roll. What else is new? Cena haters come out in full force and just starts booing the guy. But I will say this, Richmond, Virginia loves John Cena tonight because I heard a lot more cheers than boos this time around. And then on top of that, he was promoting the WWE Network. And that's one thing that I kind of have to wonder, we did talk about how the WWE Network, I guess, has been struggling lately and this and that. They did this one week preview free leading into the pay-per-view this weekend, and trying to get more people entailed to try to join the WWE Network and this and that, because there's a plan and there's something that they've been hoping for the monthly subscribers, and that's they're trying to get to at least 850,000 by the end of the month. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get them over the top, but whatever the case may be, we'll wait and see what happens. But I will say this. Cena comes out, cuts a classic cookie cutter promo, hyping about his fight on Sunday night in the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Then we had, Roman Reigns coming out, and, at first it looked like, it was enough with the political BS. I know what I'm all about, you know what I'm all about. I just want, I don't think you can stop me, and I don't think you can beat me on Sunday night. Cena kind of was took a little rhetoric. It looked like they're about to play the feud, as I like to say, until Dean Ambrose pretty much cuts a good promo to halt the whole thing up until Kane, Orton, and Seth Rollins show up, and the next thing we know, all heck breaks loose. A vicious beat down in the back, and me and Dee Woodson were talking. I'm like, where the hell is Orton and where the hell is Cena and Roman Reigns? She's saying maybe they're back in the ring. I was like, no way in hell. The minute that the attack started, they probably would have hopped out in the ring and tried to go into the backstage area. They must have been in another part of the arena where Cena and Roman Reigns could not get there in time, because it was a bloody beatdown. It was a catastrophic beatdown. Mike Bullock said it best. The curb stomp to the head, possible concussion for Dean Ambrose. He's out for the rest of the night, and that really stinks, because I was looking forward to the six-man tag, but now the six-man tag turned into a handicap fight. But there might be something even bigger that might have happened that might actually put one of our fights on Sunday night in jeopardy, considerable jeopardy, to say the very least. We hope not, but from what I'm hearing, it's not good news. I hate to say it, but I'm afraid I might have some bad news later tonight when it comes to a certain individual. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. So with that said, let's move on to our first match of the night. It was a non-title match. It was the United States Heavyweight Champion Sheamus going one-on-one with the Awesome One himself, The Miz. Winner of the match in 10 minutes and 45 seconds, it was the Awesome One. It was The Miz who scored an upset win here tonight. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I mean, this was to me, a surprise victory here for The Miz. I mean, going into this match, I was originally thinking, yep, Sheamus is gonna be all over him, but But of course, before that, Miz announced that he was going to be in the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal at the Battleground pay-per-view this Sunday. So yeah, but as far as the match goes, I thought it was a pretty good match. I mean, it really wasn't anything special. I'll tell you that. But I thought it was good enough. And I'm going to give a ranking of 2.5 to maybe 3 stars at best. I mean, I thought this was a solid fight. Yeah, I would have wanted to see more, but we did get a little bit of a. I think we did get a little bit of a commercial during the break, but which takes a little bit away from it. But all in all, it was still a damn good match, and definitely gives the Miz a little bit of an advantage going into the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal. But do I think he's going to win it? You'll get my thoughts on who I think is going to win it on when we do our Battleground preview on Saturday night, a special Saturday night edition of the Wrestling Forum. So 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating on the match. So with that being said, Fletcher, your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I was actually really surprised too. I really didn't think that it was going to be that much of a good fight or anything else, but I was pleasantly surprised. This was actually a really good match. I was really thrilled with the outcome of the fight, and I gotta say, it was good to say that enjoyable for the most part. To see what happens very, very soon. A lot of these guys are definitely working their way off to try to go up, for the title and whatnot, for the Intercontinental Championship, because the belt is indeed vacated. But I will say this, I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. Sheamus, tough loss for him tonight, but, I think it wasn't the greatest match in the world. I could say about 2 stars is my rating, but I will say that it was definitely, the outcome was actually somewhat not predictable. I didn't think The Miz was going to win it. It was a nice breath of fresh air to see The Miz do indeed win the fight tonight. This does give him a little stock, to say the very least. And I'm liking his character. I love how he's now this big Hollywood star and that he needs to be appreciated and respected. I can definitely do away with that big Miz face on the Titantron. I think that's one thing I think we can all just say go away with and get out. But at the end of the day, I did enjoy it. It was a nice match. 2 stars for me. Anthony, it's yours.
I'm going to meet you guys halfway here. I'm going to say 2.5 stars. I'm leaning more towards Bullock's rating for this fight. I mean, this was definitely a very good match here. Yeah, the unpredictability factor. I mean, that's an automatic plus for us. That's an automatic thumbs up from us. I mean, because how much we loathe and contempt and dislike and detest predictability. I mean, we live it on a daily basis. But hey, this was unpredictable as it gets. I mean, I'm very pleased with the outcome here. And I mean, yeah, Miz needed to win more. I mean, I agree. I mean, it gave the show, an anything can happen feel. I mean, you look at a certain match and you're like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna go over easily. Not so fast, my friends, as Lee Corso would say. No, I mean, it definitely gave the show an anything can happen feel. Like the old days. Anything can happen in WWE, as Mr. Vince McMahon used to say, those old school pay-per-views from the 90s era. So yeah, 2.5 stars I feel is the correct rating here. I mean, there was some good action here, some good near falls and everything else. And Miz with a surprise win. I mean, yeah, he needed it more. I mean, I'm glad that they gave him some momentum going into that battle royal. I mean, I've even heard some rumblings of possibly Sheamus possibly winning this thing and unifying the United States and Intercontinental Heavyweight Championships, something that hasn't been done since, of course, 2012 Hall of Famer, the Rated R Superstar Edge. We all remember that. 2001 Survivor Series, that unification match he had against the late, great Andrew Tess Martin, as we all know. God rest his soul, of course. So yeah, 2.5 stars I feel is the correct rating for this bout. So with that said, let's just move on to our next match. It was the show-off. Dolph Ziggler going one-on-one with the Dancing Fool Fandango. Winner of the match in an even 3 minutes. The show-off, Dolph Ziggler. Before I get to Michael Fletcher, because Michael Fletcher is going to be leading off on this. I just want to make a clear statement to the point here, and that is, damn you, Mimi Gene, for being down right now because I had the easiest ammo for a Mimi ever. Oh, good lord. I mean, unless something's happened with it. I mean, I wanted to do a Mimi on Strictly Sports Friday night. I wanted to use one of the Mimis from that site, to commemorate, LeBron James going back to Cleveland, as you all know. I had a funny Mimi in mind for that one, but unfortunately, that was all for naught. So I'm gonna have these guys review the match, and then I'll basically set up what I was going to use for the funny Mimi. I think you guys would have gotten a great laugh out of it. Because, I think we're all in agreement here. I've done some very funny Mimis over the last year or so, wouldn't you say? So yeah, with that said, Michael Fletcher, good old MF, your thoughts on this Ziggler-Fandango matchup?
Yeah, the Ziggler Fandango fight. Oh man! All right, let me just say it like this: it was good for while it was lasted, and I will say this: the match overall was not a great match. It was dragged at times. It was slow at times. You didn't know what to expect in the fight, and their Versa and all this other BS and hunky dory jazz. But then Layla and Summer Rae shows up and starts dancing on the announce table. Okay, lucky Jerry the King Lawler, lucky Michael Cole, and lucky JBL. I don't know, how do you stay professional when something like this actually happens? Um, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and it's once again the ladies stealing the spotlight from the situation and kind of, well, let's just say, kind of stealing the railroad track and whatever you want to say about the WWE. I mean, the match was okay, nothing to say about. Summer Rae and Layla, 5 stars, no doubt about it. To me, the fight, maybe a 1 star fight, nothing spectacular, way too short for my liking, and that's really it. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 1 star. That's the rating I was going to give for the fight. So I'm just gonna, basically set up what the Mimi was because I want to get these guys' thoughts on the Mimi I was going to use. There's a Mimi on the Mimi Gene called Dolph Ziggler. The Dolph Ziggler sells Mimi. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that one. Well, yeah, you would have loved the Mimi I would have come up with if Mimi had been working. I would have sold it like this. Picture the Dolph Ziggler sells Mimi, if you will, and picture the text from me, courtesy of me now. Sells pilot episode of Three's Company 2.0 to network executives. That would have been awesome. Because, let's face it, we have ourselves a Three's Company situation. We got Dolph Ziggler, of course, as Jack Tripper, the late great John Ritter, rest his soul. And then, of course, you can have Layla as Janet. And then, of course, you can have Summer Rae as Chrissy. Simple. I mean, me being the Three's Company aficionado, that I am, one of my favorite old school classic TV shows, which you can see on the TV land, on Sunday afternoons. They have little mini marathons of that for a couple hours or so. But yeah, I mean, that would have been the perfect ammo for a media right there. Sells Three's Company pilot and network executives. That's what Dolph Ziggler could have done tonight. So, because come on, that was basically a Three's Company situation he just got himself in there with Layla and Summer Rae. I mean, that's perfect for Three's Company standards. I mean, could you imagine a Three's Company 2.0 with those three? You think that would sell on network television? Hell yeah, it would have. No doubt about it. I would have bought in. So that's all I can say about it. So. But yeah, like I said before, Danny and Mimi Gene for being down again. I wanted to use you guys the other night for that, I wanted to use their celebration. You see the celebration, maybe, that meme with the balloons and the confetti, commemorate LeBron James going back to Cleveland. But unfortunately, I couldn't do that one either. So, but if God forbid that site ever goes up again, I'll post those memes to you guys someday, so we can all have a nice little laugh at that. Although I think we just have one. Anyways, 1 star max for this. I mean, I'm gonna be honest here, but in all seriousness, back to the serious stuff now. I mean, I like the way that they're promoting the Intercontinental Battle Royal here. Making it feel, giving it some significance here, some prestige. Because we've been very critical of how they've been booking the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship over the last year or so. I mean, with these, preview matches, I mean, I gotta say, it's somewhat making the title feel prestigious here. I mean, it's almost like one of those every win, with every win, I mean, the more momentum you have, the better your chances of winning the Battle Royal. So that's all I can say about that. And of course, there is some good news out of this. I forgot to mention a little while ago. The former champion, Bad News Barrett, is actually going to be at Battleground to present the championship belt to the winner. Yeah, that's what that's what Michael Cole said on the show tonight. For those of you who didn't see it, but yeah, Bad News Barrett, just injury and all, will be in Tampa. They'll be at the Battleground pay-per-view Sunday night to present the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship belt to whoever wins the Battle Royale on Sunday night. So it is one of the worst fights of the night. It is 1 star for the effort, but I will say this though, Michael Fletcher, you are absolutely right. The announce team had the best seat in the house, Daddy. When you had Layla and Summer Rae, I mean, we could have had, Layla, I mean, Fletch, having the fun with Layla, me having the fun with Summer Rae. I mean, now that would be a nice little double date now, wouldn't it? Oh, yeah. Nothing left to say about that. Woo! So with that said, Mr. Bullock, how do you follow that?
Wow, I don't know how the heck I'm going to follow that, but I don't think I can. But, yeah, as far as the match goes, yeah, this was not a good match here whatsoever. I mean, it was basically good for what it was worth. I'll make it unanimous and say 1 star for the match. I mean, it was just, like I said, it was there and nothing really special about it. But Summer Rae and Layla, I mean, on the announce table dancing away, man, oh man, I can only imagine how Jerry the King Lawler must have felt when that happened, because we all know when back in the days, I mean, how he used to like Divas when he would say puppies every time. I mean, yeah, you got a kick out of that, Florio. So, and then of course, damn Dolph Ziggler, you lucky son of a bitch. I mean, he gets kissed by both Summer Rae and Layla. I mean, you talk about a lucky guy. I mean, and Fandango, I'm sure he must be like, damn. I mean, I had both of these women in my life, and now they're both kissing Dolph Ziggler.
And everybody was thinking that Dolph Ziggler was getting buried in WWE. I think not.
Yeah, exactly, Fletch. I mean, everyone was saying Dolph Ziggler was getting buried. I don't think so when it comes to what happened with him getting a nice kiss from both Summer Rae and Layla. Yeah, I think any of us would have taken a kiss from one of those 2 girls. I mean, I know Fletcher would go crazy if he got kissed by Layla, because we all know how much he likes Layla, and of course we all know, of course, Florio when it comes to Summer Rae. Oh, if he got kissed by her, oh man, he probably wouldn't stop talking about it for days. So yeah, 1 star for the match. So with that being said, Florio, let's move on.
Yeah, and it also definitely would have healed the broken heart I suffered a month ago when the New York Rangers lost to the LA Kings in the Stanley Cup Finals. But that's all I can say about that. So, all right, we're just gonna move on here. I mean, how can we move on after that? Well, we're just gonna do it anyway. Oh, if only Mimi Jean was around, we could add some real fun with that. But anyways, let's move on here to what looked like an entrance by the Uso brothers. Tag team champions doing their whole Samoan song that, Fletch and I love so much. We like to have fun with that when we can. But then all of a sudden, Harper and Rowan attack him from behind and leave him left for dead. So yeah, I'm just going to start it off here. Well, it's an NA here. It's an automatic NA. Of course, this was really not a match. It was just really a beatdown here. This was really just, a little scrummage, if you will. Because keep in mind here, Sunday night, it's not a 1-fall match between these two. It's going to be 2 out of 3 falls. Or as Michael Fletcher would like to say, Intercontinental rules, boys. Yeah, Michael Fletcher would channel his inner Gorilla Monsoon on this. I mean, we can have a lot of fun with this on Sunday night. That's all I can say about that when it comes to this fight. Intercontinental rules, boys. That's all there is to it. 2 out of 3 falls. It will be the Usos against Harper and Rowan for the WWE Tag Team Championship. I mean, you thought the match they had at Money in the Bank was amazing. Just wait till you see this fight on Sunday night. I mean, I think this is easily going to be the best fight of the series here. I mean, we could be looking at 4 to 4.5 stars if all goes really well here, and I think it will. You remember the last 2 out of 3 falls match I can recall was Sheamus against Daniel Bryan at the Extreme Rules 2012 for the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, that was a solid 4 to 4.25 star match. I mean, totally made up for WrestleMania with an absolute dud, as we all know. But still, I mean, anyways, a very good scrummage here. I mean, this has been one of the best tag team title programs I've seen in a long time. I mean, you know, we did have those good couple of programs last year. You know, when the Usos were chasing Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns when they were in the Shield, and of course, you know, the Shield also going up against Cody Rhodes and Goldust. You know, before they became, you know, the campy comedy team that they are nowadays, which is a goddamn shame, but it is what it is. But anyways, solid beat down here, a great scrummage here, and my excitement level for this match has just gone sky high. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, yeah. This is an NA as far as I'm concerned. But man, oh man, I mean, you saw Ambrose get a beat down earlier in the night. Well, now it was the Usos' turn to basically, as Mike Fletcher said once on the wrestling forum. Let's just say the Usos got parlay booed by the Wyatt family. Yeah, they basically sent the Usos down the ramp, and Luke Harper gave one of them the big boot, and they send the other into the ring, and Harper basically lifts up one of the Uso brothers and do a double slam to the mat, and yeah, this really hypes up this 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Tag Team Championships at Battleground, or as they used to like to say, at the Intercontinental rules when it comes to this kind of a match. So yeah, so NA on this segment, but man, what a beat down by the Wyatt family, and I know I'm not supposed to you know what, I'm actually going to save my prediction for the match on the Battleground preview. So with that being said, Fletcher, it's yours.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This was a beatdown segment more than anything else. It actually sold the fact that they just looked really good tonight. They actually looked really strong, to say the very least. And at the end of the day, they just tried to do what they had to do, and that's try to handle their business, show them why they were, why they want to be the next WWE Tag Team Champions. And it is international rules. It is 2 out of 3 fall. The Intercontinental rules are in effect on Sunday night. And, it's going to go all 3 falls. There's no doubt about it. But it's who's going to come out of this is the big question. But, we'll wait and see what happens there. We hope for the best, but, hope for the best, expect the least is what I say about it. But, we'll wait and see what happens. Hopefully we get a good fight. And, that's it. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm back in now. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely agree with that. So with that said, I believe we're all set here. We're just going to move on to our next segment, and oh boy, what a segment this was. I mean, we had a lot of fun with this one. It was the USA versus Russia Détente. It was Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger, along with Lana and Rusev. I mean, what else is there to say except Michael Bullock, you get to lead off here. I mean, what a segment this was, huh?
Yeah, I'll definitely say it. This was a damn good segment here. I mean, you had the back and forth with Lana and Rusev and Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter, and I mean, we definitely get a USA chant, of course, from the fans, of course. Swagger basically holding the American flag as they come out, and Lana basically smiles, and dropped some kind of a Russian verbiage on it, saying I will, and basically said I will gladly sit on your face. And basically, Zeb Coulter says has challenged Rusev to a matchup against Jack Swagger at the Battleground pay-per-view, and Lana basically says that Coulter and America are the same. They choose basically violence to solve all of their problems, and America wants to be the savior of the world, yet they cannot save themselves, and only show their desperation. All of us are stupid. America is stupid, and basically when everybody starts booing, she basically says, "Shut up!" And that's basically like, I mean, this is almost like the Russian version of Vicky Guerrero basically saying, "Excuse me," but instead we got "Shut up!" And she keeps saying that talking to our stupid American, our country is so stupid that when they won their freedom from the British, they decided to fight each other like savages. So stupid and nothing like Mother Russia, who has always been and always will be the peace and loving country. And just she wants to come to an understanding, simply admit your mistakes, she tells Coulter, and then she basically wants an apology from Coulter. Yeah, you think you're gonna get an apology from Coulter? I got 2 words for you, girl. Hell no. Or, in the immoral words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, you say, "Here's to you, bitch." And yeah, and Lana walks around the podium with pretty much a not so happy look on her face, and Lana says that Coulter's arrogance is the reason why USA is crumbling into pieces, and basically the best leader of Russia is Vladimir Putin, and Coulter calls Putin ugly, and the best leader is, of course, the President of the United States, Barack Obama, and Rusev. And now we got our matchup at the Battleground pay-per-view between Rusev and Jack Swagger. And as Lana and Rusev head out of the ring, Coulter basically tells Lana he has often wondered who wore the pants in that group, and he wants Lana to teach Rusev 3 words. And basically, you know what those 3 words are, boys, and I want you to repeat it with me. I want you to please rise, put your hand over your heart, and say these 3 words with me. We the people. Yeah. So, to me, I'll say this, boys. This was definitely the segment of the night, and we get a little preview, and of course, basically Swagger puts the Patriot lock on Rusev, and Rusev was basically able to get out of it, and this is definitely a match I'm really looking forward to when it comes to it, and who knows, maybe this matchup could end up being better than the Roman Reigns Rusev match that we had on Friday Night SmackDown. But of course, as we always like to say, the jury's out for lunch on it. So to me, this was my segment of the night, and I'll say it again: we the people. Fletcher, it's yours.
All of a sudden, I feel so patriotic. I don't even know what the heck I can do after that. All right, well, let's just say this. It was definitely a strong segment. I definitely love how Lana and Zeb Coulter, or Uncle Zeb, to some of the Facebook fans that we were saying that I was kind of going off of tonight during the Monday Night Raw chat, and I kind of was going a little railing, and I started ranting on Lana and this and that and blah 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 blah, and then Dee Dee Woodson kind of tries to call me out, saying she's not Russian, she's from Florida. What are you talking about? Hey, I understand that. I'm just going after the character. We all know that. But, you know, wrestling is indeed actually real. Cody Boynes from Talking Wrestling and what we live and die by. But at the end of the day, It was a funny thing. It was pretty cool. I liked it. It was a great segment of the night type moment. And, the interactions by Zeb Coulter and Lana made this as amazing as it can be. And at the end of the day, it was truly, truly a moment in itself, and it was pretty cool to say the very least. So, I mean, I really enjoy it, and yeah, it was definitely amazing and pretty awesome to see, and the whole 9 yards. And I have to say that I liked it. The fans were definitely behind Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter. The USA chant in Richmond, Virginia was deafening, deafening to say the very least, and it was pretty cool to see. So I enjoyed it. I liked it. Definitely clear cut one of the segments of the night. Anthony, it's yours.
Segment of the night, without a doubt, absolutely right on that. I mean, this when this program came together, all I was saying is, for the next few weeks, I am hoping to see some back and forth between Zeb Coulter and Lana. And boy, howdy, I think tonight may have been the best one. I mean, this is exactly what I wanted. I got what I wanted out of this, and it definitely makes my excitement level for this fight go a little bit up there. I mean, it's not as sky high as the Usos against Harper and Roman, but still, I mean, wow, this was incredible. I mean, this was, I'm definitely gonna consider this one of my segments of the year. Still not the segment of the year. We all know what is still my segment of the year. No need to rehash that. You already know what that is by now. But anywho, I mean, yeah, Coulter and Lana back and forth, amazing. The crowd was red hot into this. I mean, yeah. I guess we now have 2 3-word mottos that we can live by here at the Wrestling Forum / Strictly Sports. I mean, not just feed me more, but also we the people as well. I mean, I pretty much, started that whole thing, that Strictly Sports show where Derek Ferrer, Michael Bullock, and myself, when we celebrated the Red Sox winning the World Series, and we had that moment with Boston Strong, I did a We the People, made a We the People moment out of that, as you all remember. But, yeah, this was absolutely amazing. The live crowd was jacked up here. I mean, yeah, anytime you get a red hot crowd and a red hot segment, yeah, that's definitely going to be a segment of the night for sure. So, without question, this was the segment of the night. Rusev and Swagger already added to an already stacked card for Battleground, which I feel is going to be a gazillion times better than that god-awful show last October. I mean, last October, that was one of the absolute worst WWE pay-per-views of all time. Yes, it had a saving grace with the Rhodes Brothers against Rollins and Reigns, but still, I mean, that show was god-awful. I think WWE realized that it was a terrible show last year, and they're doing everything they can to make this a damn good show. And if it all goes well, if everything delivers, which we think it can, and it possibly could, we could be looking at one of the greatest PG-era pay-per-views of all time. This could give Money in the Bank 2011, the 2013 Royal Rumble, and, of course, WrestleMania 30 a run for its money, if all goes well, because of the body of work of the combatants involved. So, just a little thing I wanted to get off my chest there. But, yeah. So from now on, we have not one, but 2 3-word mottos that we will live by. Not just feed me more, but now we the people is now a staple here at the Wrestling Forum in Strictly Sports. So, wow, segment of the night. The match on Sunday, I think, could potentially be a sleeper fight of the night candidate, and definitely maybe Rusev's best match ever. I mean, Swagger getting the Patriot lock on him. Wow. I think there's a good chance he gets that on him on Sunday night. I really do. So, nothing left to say here, except let's just move on to our next match and segment here. And give me 1 second here. Okay, here we go. It was another match, another preview match for the Intercontinental Battle Royal. It was Alberto Del Rio one-on-one with Rob Van Dam. Winner of the match in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, Alberto Del Rio. I believe Michael Fletcher leads off on this one. So, Fletcher, your thoughts on this one?
Sorry about that. I thought I had unmuted my mic. But yeah, I did hear Rob Van Dam definitely, that was somewhat of some bad news to say the very least. But I will say this. Um, it's it was definitely it was an okay fight, no doubt about it. And I would say that we'll wait and see what happens. And I liked it, didn't really love it. For the most part, it was like I said, it was similar to how the matches do go, and we'll see how it goes. Again, two guys going at it for the title. Um, in the Intercontinental Battle Royale. We just hope for the best. It was an okay fight, like I said, about 1.5 to 2 stars. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 1.5 to 2 stars indeed. I feel is the correct rating for this match. I mean, it was a solid match. I mean, there was some good action here, and like I said earlier, it's definitely making the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship feel a little more prestigious now with all these preview matches with all these guys here. I mean, and they even had it on display. They had the vacated title on display, you know, during all those matches, right? And I feel was a nice touch indeed. So, yeah, definitely way to make that title look relevant again, WWE. That's great. So, I definitely don't have an issue with that whatsoever. And yeah, Del Rio going over, that's no big surprise. I mean, RVD's had a habit lately of putting over, the younger talent, which is a good thing. I mean, there's another guy who's been doing the same thing. We'll get to him in a little bit, but yeah. But for the almost 5 minutes we got for this match, 1.5 to 2 stars. Yes, I feel that is indeed the correct rating for this bout. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll make it unanimous. I'll say 1.5 to 2 stars. I mean, it was. I mean, I do agree with Fletch. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I mean, it was basically fine for what it was. I mean, like I said, this is just trying to build, of course, for the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal. So, yeah, there's really nothing else for me to say except 1.5 to 2 stars for the match. So, with that being said, Florio, let's move on.
Okay, just had to unmute the mic there. Bouncing around with all my tabs here. So, yeah, let's just move on to our next matchup here. It was it is the first of two Divas matches. It was a 2-on-1 handicap match. It was Alicia Fox and Cameron going up against Nikki Bella. Winners of the match in 3 minutes and 35 seconds. It was Alicia Fox and Cameron. I believe I started off here. I think Fletch led off last one. So I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I know Bullock's ready to slam it, but here's the thing. I mean, I don't think it was as bad as many people are making it out to be. I mean, I saw the match clearly, and there was actually some good action here. I mean, Nikki Bella, I mean, bless her heart. I mean, look what she did. I mean, she actually, put forth a very game effort here. I mean, there were, some instances where it looked like she was going to actually pull the thing out on like 2 or 3 occasions from what I saw. So, yeah, color me surprised. I thought this was going to be an absolute disaster. I thought this was going to be an absolute dud. I know you guys are probably going to disagree with me. I know Bullock's ready to slam it, but here's the thing. No, don't slam it. It's not as bad as you think. I mean, if you watch the match back, it's not as bad as people think it was. I mean, a lot of people are probably saying, "No, typical ho-hum diva fight." Oh wow, that is indeed major breaking news. We'll address that when we get to the main event, no doubt about that. But as far as this fight goes, I mean, I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to give this a solid 1.5 stars. I mean, I thought this was a lot better than I thought, and of course the ring announcer originally billed it as a tag match. I guess it was supposed to be Brie Bella there as well, but Stephanie McMahon before the match got on Nikki Bella saying, well, hey, Brie Bella, she abandoned you. She married Daniel Bryan, and then she quit, and then she abandoned you. She fed you to the wolves, basically. And don't worry, folks. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen at SummerSlam. We're gonna get Brie Bella one-on-one with Stephanie McMahon. I mean, which would be Stephanie's first in-ring match, official in-ring match since that surprise match she had with her father back in 2003 at the No Mercy, which surprised the hell out of not just me but all of us as well. We all thought that was going to be a disaster. Look how damn good that turned out to be. So, if that can be good, who knows? Maybe that one can be good. Come August 17th at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. So yeah. 1.5 stars. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, the action was good. I mean, thankfully they kept Cameron's time was limited. We all know she's the second weakest diva on the roster. The weakest of the bunch, of course, we'll get to her later on, because she was actually an acting Dr. Vince. So nothing left to say here except 1.5 stars, and I was pleasantly surprised with the outcome. And by the way, one more thing before I toss it to you, Bullock, and that is, Bullock and I, we talked about this some time ago, and, well, it's going to happen. It's official. It's going to be Cameron versus Naomi on the kickoff show, the pre-show on Battleground. So it's official. I mean, not just me who had this one, but Bullock had this one as well. So Bullock and I, we're gonna share the credit on this one. We both had this one. So with that said, Bullock, I know you're probably gonna slam this fight, but to me, it was a 1.5 star fight. So with that said, I know you're probably gonna slam it, so slam it anyway.
No, actually, you know what? After listening to that and taking a look at the match again, I actually do agree with you, Florio. I mean, it was fine for what it was, but I'm actually going to go just a little bit lower and say 1.25 stars when it comes to the match. I mean, it still wasn't. I mean, it was all right for what it was worth, and there actually was some good action here. And I mean, it's good that they kept Cameron's in-ring action down, and because we all agree she is the second greenest grass diva in the WWE today. Let's not kid ourselves when it comes to this. And poor Nikki Bella. I mean, she continues to get buried, of course, by Stephanie McMahon. I mean, basically saying, hold on a minute here. Basically, yeah, hold on. Basically saying that Nikki is all alone and that Nikki must be getting used to it because when Brie quit, she abandoned her career and her sister. And Stephanie says that Nikki is left to suffer the consequences. And she basically says, don't blame Stephanie McMahon, blame your sister for what Nikki Bella is going through. And yeah, I think this is going to be where at the point that Brie's going to come out and say, enough is enough, and basically, I'm going to challenge you, Steph, to a match at SummerSlam, and this would be Stephanie McMahon's first in-ring action, official in-ring action, since, of course, 2003, when it was, of course, her against her father, Mr. McMahon, at the No Mercy pay-per-view back in 2003, which turned out to be one of the sleeper fights of the night. I mean, because I'll be honest, I thought this was going to be a train wreck and a disaster, and it turned out better than what I expected. And as far as, of course, yeah, I mean, me and Anthony did talk about it, and we thought for sure that they were going to have Cameron against Naomi, and we were saying if they do have it, they should put it on the kickoff show, and lo and behold, we were correct on it. They did announce it, so I mean, I'm glad they put it on the kickoff show instead of on the regular main card, because I mean, that probably would have had train wreck and disaster written all over it when it comes to the. I mean, that definitely would have taken the pay-per-view down, but of course, as the old saying is, the jury's out for lunch on it. So, 1.25 stars for me. So, I don't know what else there's to say except Fletcher, it's yours.
Yeah, 1.25 stars, and this was far and away far better than any of the other fights that went down earlier here tonight, and there's no doubt about it. I know what Anthony is going to try to go for as it pertains to the fight later in the evening, and when it comes to another Diva fight that we saw, and I understand why he would go and say what he had to say about that, but I do say that it was definitely what I expected or what I thought of it, and at the end of the day, it was definitely far better. But like you said, Nikki Bella once again gets punished, and actually there was something that I did notice that hopefully I can actually say, and then maybe I can find this here on the Twitter, because I am on Twitter right now. and hopefully I can find this. Um, well, there was another part of the news within the time, and what it was
We can't hear you, Mikey.
did my mic get muted?
I don't know what happened, but
Can
we
you
can hear you now. I think I can hear you now.
all right? I thought so. What I was gonna say was Twitter. Hopefully I can find it now, and when I find it, I'll just post. Why don't you give it about 1.5 stars is my rating?
All right, so you're all set now.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. So, yeah, 1.5 stars definitely is the consensus all around for that fight. So with that said, let's move on to our next match. There were a couple of backstage moments, but we don't get into those. So we're just gonna move on to our next matchup here. It was surprise, surprise, another preview match for the Intercontinental Battle Royal. It was Cesaro going one-on-one with Big E. Winner of the match in 4 minutes and 25 seconds. It was Big E. So, um, yeah, I don't see Michael Bullock here, oh, wait a minute, there he is. I see him. So, I just want to give Mike Bullock a moment. So yeah, with Big E against Cesaro for an Intercontinental Battle Royal match. Oh, there's Bullock in now. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts on Big E going over Cesaro in 4 minutes and 25 seconds?
All right. For me, I mean, I thought this was another. I mean, I thought this was another all right match. I mean, yes, in that 4 minutes and 50 seconds. I mean, it all starts with Cesaro basically. Yeah. Well, yeah. Hold on a minute here. I mean, I'm gonna say probably maybe 1.5 to maybe even 2 stars at best, if I'm gonna be quite honest here when it comes to this. I mean, and then of course, Cesaro basically hits the German toss at the beginning, and then Big E hits a hard STO slam, and then Big E heads to the outside after he sends Cesaro to the outside, and basically, yeah, hold on, and tries to send him back into the ring, and then Cesaro basically stomps his chest, and then of course Cesaro launched the butterfly in the Tiger Bomb, and looks like he was going to get the win. And Big E, of course, with that big old belly, with that big splash, and then the straps are down, and Cesaro basically heads to the outside, and basically, of course, goes for a chair, and just, of course, we saw Kofi Kingston basically come out, and then Kofi grabs the chair, and then, of course, he gets the big inning, 1, 2, 3. So a good win here for Big E. So I'll say maybe 1.5 to 2 stars, and definitely a little bit of momentum for Big E going into this Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal. Of course, Big E, of course, being a former Intercontinental Champion himself. So 1.5 to 2 stars for me. So with that being said, Fletcher, it's yours if we can hear you.
All right, guys. Yeah, you can probably hear me now clearly this time around. I guess it was an issue. I don't know what had happened. 1.5 to 2 stars is the rating. But guys, I actually found this thing on the Twitter that I was alluding to about Nikki Bella, and here it is, guys. This is the caption that I found just minutes ago It says "Need You Bree," hashtag Fearless Nikki, hashtag Raw at WWE, hashtag Fearless Moment, and it's basically well, the I think I think like I said in one of my posts yesterday, where I said a picture is worth 1,000 words. I think this sums up everything that has been going on with poor Nikki Bella lately in WWE because of that no good wench Stephanie McMahon, and I'll even say it and stick to my guns with that. But as far as the match goes, like I said, it's 1.5 stars. Another showcase fight for the Intercontinental Championship as they're really, really, really hyping the Intercontinental Championship, which I really think is a good thing that they're doing. And I love it. I love what they're doing. I love the body of work that they're doing with it, and I love that they're really emphasizing the Intercontinental title on Sunday night. For once, I'm actually excited for an Intercontinental title fight because they've made it compelling. They've made it so that we all understand the magnitude of this fight, and I'm really happy about that. And well, we'll see what happens on Sunday night. Like I said, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, another 1.5 star match. I feel that is the correct rating here. Solid action. If you noticed, Kofi Kingston actually came down to second Biggie for this matchup. Conspicuous by his absence, though, one of Mr. Bullock's all-time favorites, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was not at ringside for this match. I mean, there was no Paul Heyman in the corner of Cesaro. Read into that what you will. But anyways, I don't know what's going on with Cesaro here. I mean, he loses again. I mean, it's one of two things. It's either one, they actually are going to put the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship on him come Sunday Night at Battleground, as he is, the favorite, you would think, because, he did win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal back at WrestleMania 30. And then, of course, the other scenario is that maybe there's something going on, behind the scenes that we don't know. Maybe there's some heat on him that, that we looked the other way and didn't see. So I honestly don't know what's going on with Cesaro and what's going on with this losing streak, but goodness gracious, I mean, wow. That's all I can say about that. So, what was I going to say? But then again, yeah, why is he losing so much? I don't know. So yeah, it is another 1.5 star match. I mean, it's been the theme all night. They've been hyping the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship Battle Royal and making the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship seem, worthwhile and seem prestigious. So, of course, we'll have some more on that come Saturday night when we do our big preview show. So with that said, let's just move on to our next segment here. It was Chris Jericho. Y2J Chris Jericho comes out, and then he was interrupted by Bray Wyatt. So I'm trying to. I believe Bullock led off the last segment. So Michael Fletcher, you get to lead off on this segment. Your thoughts on this Jericho and Wyatt segment?
Another solid segment. I definitely enjoyed what I saw. Jericho comes out really well. Bray Wyatt, man, oh man, does he know how to talk, man. He is so impressive, speaking to say the very least. And at the end of the day, it was a strong segment, solid segment. I enjoyed it very much so. But the thing that made this kind of one of those tight situations was that, the Wyatt family does show up. Bray Wyatt cuts his promo. Next thing you know, we see Roman and Harper, and they were circling the wagons on Jericho. Jericho leaves the ring, and it looks like he'll be safe and no injury and nothing bad's gonna happen. You turned your back. Never turn your back to the back of wherever, and he paid the price dearly. He gets KO'd, and then Sister Abigail right on the rampway, knocking him out. Wyatt family looking good. Bray Wyatt looking strong going into Sunday night. We'll wait and see if it's meant to be for him, or Can the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Chris Jericho, find a way to get the Duke over the so-called man who has the whole world in his hands? Anthony, it's yours.
A quote is worth 1,000 words. Well, Michael Fletch likes to say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but a moment will last a lifetime. Yes, I saw that post from your World Cup photo on the Facebook. I mean, I know that those are the exact words you said yesterday, as you were wrapping that up, but as only Michael Fletcher can eloquently say, that's why he's the best in the biz when it comes to, epic calls. I mean, he is our Doc Emmerich, our Gorilla, our JR, whatever, but, I mean, Chris Jericho, he said it best during this segment here, and it's like he said during it. I mean, I'm trying to find the exact words, but yeah, he said it. I mean, he said, Bray Wyatt, you may have the whole world in your hands, but I got the whole WWE universe in mine. I mean, wow, that's all I can say on that. I mean, that was incredible. I mean. This was the second best segment of the night. I mean, I only thought the whole detente segment with Rusev and Lana and Swagger and Coulter was just a smidge better, but this was just as good. I mean, Bray Wyatt continues to show you why he is the best talker in the business today. When it comes to the mic work, I mean, just absolutely incredible, and it's going to be Chris Jericho against Bray Wyatt come Sunday night at the Battleground pay-per-view, and wow, that's all I can say about that. I mean, as if this pay-per-view couldn't be any more better than it already is. I mean, you got a loaded lineup as it is, and wow, that's all there is to say. I mean, you thought the back and forth with Zeb Coulter and Lana was good. Oh, this was just as good. I honestly don't know which one was better, but to me, I think the segment with I think the detente segment was just a smidge better. So this was a very close second best segment of the night. And all I can say is Chris Jericho against Bray Wyatt. Well, here's the quote. He said that to Bray Wyatt, "You got the whole world in your hands. I've got the whole WWE universe in my hands." Wow. If that doesn't electrify a crowd, you tell me what does. That's all there is to say about that. So, second best segment of the night, and really nothing left to say here except the match on Sunday. Boy, howdy, it's going to be a beauty. That's all there is to say about that. So, with that said, Mr. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this was a very good segment, and definitely the second best segment of the night. Of course, Chris Jericho. I mean, basically saying that he's been working for the company for 15 years and he has done it all. Basically, he's seen The Undertaker almost get buried alive by his own pyro, and that he has been knocked out by Mike Tyson, Mickey Rourke, and Bob Barker. Well, and basically he is a 9-time Intercontinental Champion, and he beat The Rock and Stone Cold to become the first undisputed heavyweight champion ever, a 6-time champ, and of course the work that he's done with Fozzy, and he has basically never seen anyone like Bray Wyatt, and a freak surrounded by freaks, and he's like that he's an unstoppable force, and for some reason he has his sights set on him. And he knows that Battleground, for the first time ever, it's Jericho against Wyatt, and Jericho says, let's get crazy, and then all of a sudden Bray Wyatt shows up with another one of his creepy promos, and this is why he's the best talker in WWE as of right now. And we go back to the ring, and with Wyatt laughing, and then he asks Chris Jericho if he's afraid of the dark, and then all the lights go out, and then when the lights go back on, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan are basically in the ring, and you're like, uh-oh, this is not going to end well for Jericho. And Jericho basically attacks Luke Harper, and then Rowan is there to toss him off and sends him into a big boot, but Harper misses it, and Jericho basically slides out of the ring and up the ramp, and and he backs up thinking he's all right, only to be attacked by Bray Wyatt, and he hits Sister Abigail at the top of the ramp and drops to his knees and says, of course, follow the buzzard. So he gets a big time for it. So, man, definitely really looking forward to this match between these two, between Jericho and Wyatt. So, second best segment of the night. So, that being said, Oriole, let's move on.
Fletch, you went on that one, right?
I think he did.
I think I started the segment.
Yeah, I think he started it.
Oh, okay, yes. I just wanted to be sure on that. So, all right. So, that said, let's move on to our next segment here. It was the second of our two Divas matches. It was the WWE Divas Champion AJ Lee going up against the fiery redhead Eva Marie. Winner of the match in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Gee, I wonder. Oh yeah, it was the Divas Champion AJ Lee. Fletch, I believe you let up. I mean, did Fletch lead up on that last segment? I believe he did, right?
Yeah, he did. And all I can say is, Florio, God, I envy you for leading off on
It's
this.
on you, kid. It's all you.
I'm not going to waste anybody's time on this. Second worst fight of the night. This was an absolute dud. I mean, there was one fight that I thought was worse than this, believe it or not. I mean, this was the typical ho-hum diva fight. I mean, good Lord, this was terrible. I mean, Eva Marie, what else is there to say? Beautiful woman, yes. Another one of Michael Fletcher's favorites, yes. Probably number 2 on his totem pole, behind the beautiful Brit from Miami, Florida Layla. But here's the thing. Mikey, I'm sorry, but he can't wrestle. I'm sorry, he can't wrestle. I mean, I could have had Amble for another Mimi from Mimi G, for crying out loud. I mean, they have a new Mimi on, one of the newest Mimis on there. It's been new for a while now. It's called Clueless Eva Marie. I could have had a nice little moment there where it said NXT. Isn't that in Louisville, Kentucky? No, that's OVW, honey. That's OVW. That's all there is to say about that. But I mean, is she nice to look at? Hell yes. But in a wrestling capacity, no. She makes Cameron look like freaking Daniel Bryan, for crying out loud. Serious. Good Lord, she's so terrible. I'm sorry. But that's just the way it is. She needs a lot of work. That's all there is to it. If I were them, I strongly recommend send her back down to the Performance Center. She's not ready for prime time as a wrestler. I think she'd be. However, the only way I would keep her on the main roster is as a manager or a valet. I think she could do that a hell of a lot better than in-ring wrestling. She needs so much work. It's not even funny, and it's not. So, you notice there was some nice little hype there between AJ Lee and Paige. You know, they had a little back and forth on the announcer headsets. You know, towards the very end. You heard it first. Paige is turning heel. That's going to happen on Sunday night. But all I can say is this. I'm glad that the Diva division is getting showcased. That's good. I mean, I'm glad they're getting not 1 but 2 matches on the show. That's great. I'm very happy to see that. I mean, they need to be showcased more in an in-ring stance. But let me just say it like this. AJ Lee and Paige on Sunday night has the potential to be one of the best Divas Championship matches in recent memory. I hope they give them some time to work with. I really do. I think it's going to be a lot longer than those 2 combined matches that they had, you know, the night after WrestleMania and the night after Money in the Bank. So all I can say is, come Sunday night, I think we're in for one of the better Diva title matches in probably over a year. So, absolute dud. Second worst fight of the night. Like a bullet. How are you going to follow that?
Yeah. Absolute dud. Second worst fight of the night. I mean, this was your typical ho-hum diva fight. I mean, this was just horrible. This is horrific. And, I mean, Eva Marie, I mean, she is the greenest as grass diva in the WWE today. I mean, she basically can't wrestle shit right now. I mean, she needs a lot of work when it comes to it. And basically, they need to send her back to the Performance Center or even send her down to NXT because, I mean, she is not ready for the big as I would like to say, she is not ready for the big leagues right now. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, and I mean, AJ basically was. I mean, basically she had her way. She had her way with Eva Marie, and of course with Paige doing the commentary. And all I can say is I'm definitely looking forward to this Divas title match, and definitely has the potential to be one of the best Divas title matches in a long, long time. Can it top the NXT Takeover? Of course, with the NXT Divas title. I mean, Divas title match between Charlotte and Natalya. I don't think so, because that match at the NXT Takeover was definitely very, very good between those two. But of course, we'll have to wait and see on it. So I'm definitely looking forward to this match. But this match here, ugh, dud, Fletcher, go.
As beautiful as Eva Marie is, and I'm very definitely in love with her, but A, she's married. That's not going to happen. B, you need to have talent, and I mean wrestling talent, in order to win me over. You're just not going to win me over by good looks. No doubt about it. And even Megan Silva, one of our super fans, we got into another Facebook chat here tonight, and she's not too high on Eva Marie. She is about AJ Lee. She is about Paige. I think we all are in love with Paige and with AJ Lee because A, natural wrestling talent. B, they just have that charisma. They bring something to the ring that not many other of the divas do. And C, yes, they are very good looking to look at, and to say the very least. And Paige it has an extra quality because of her British accent, because she has that very subtle, very delicate British accent that will make any guy's heart melt. She's already captured Derek Ferrera's heart more, and so we already know that. So, but yeah, I do agree. This was a complete and utter dud. This was definitely one of the worst fights of the night, and I do agree with Anthony Foyo. It's not the worst fight of the night, believe it or not. So, with that said, let's just move on.
All right, and move on we will, and we're going to move on to our next matchup here. I mean, now we're gonna have to cover our faces in shame one more time, because it was the inspirational Bo Dallas going one-on-one with the Great Khali. Oh boy, Bo Dallas against the Great Khali, our next match, and God forbid, I can't believe this was another showcase match for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship Battle Royal. Good Lord. Winner of the match in a whopping 1 minute and 50 seconds via countout, the inspirational Bo Dallas. And I can't believe I had to. I got to put my vice president of the Yes Movement through this. Michael Bullock, I'm so sorry. It's the luck of the draw, a la the Royal Rumble. So you drew the number one spot, my friend. You got to lead off. And oh, by the way, I don't envy you.
Oh no, Mark.
Worst fight of the night. Absolute dud. I mean, pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable, inexcusable, irresponsible, and borderline reprehensible. I mean, what was the point of this? I mean, I understand you're trying to showcase for the Intercontinental Championship Battle Royal, but a matchup like this, where you're trying to sell, I mean, I don't know about trying to sell pay-per-view buys. I mean, well, for those that still order on pay-per-view, but I mean, this is going to make people not want to give two craps about this Battleground pay-per-view. I mean, you put a match like this on. I mean, come on. Really? Bo Dallas and the Great Khali? I mean, Great Khali, he is green as grass, and, I mean, this is one guy I can't stick. I mean, here's a guy who basically can't sing, for goodness sakes, and, oy. I don't know what else there's to say. I mean, I'm just gonna make this short and sweet. Dud, 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 and yes, I gotta pull my Ren and Stimpy out. And the more words of Ren and Stimpy to WWE for putting a freaking match like this on a go home show. You idiot! Move on. I'm done. I'm finished with this crap. Fletcher, please get Bruno and have him take a dump on this match because this smells like crap.
Shame on you, WWE. What the heck were you thinking with this fight? I mean, first of all, Bo Dallas comes out, talks about how he fought El Torito a week ago. Yeah, like we needed any like we needed to be remembered of that shit fest. And now all of a sudden you turn us around and you're like, he had such a big heart. He did all this and he believed. Yeah. And I'm believing I just took a dump in my toilet 2 seconds ago and I believed that was probably just this no, 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 no. So then on top of that, then we find out, he issues an open challenge. So who they throw out for us? The Great Khali. Oh, okay. I don't understand why they would throw Khali. Yes, I understand he's in the Battle Royale, but you had to throw the Great Khali in it. Really, WWE? You couldn't find anybody else. You couldn't find anybody else. You had, I mean, God forbid, Zack Ryder, I mean, Heath Slater, you could have put through somebody else, and you throw the Punjabi Playboy? Really? No, 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 no.
No,
So here's the thing. The fight was a complete and utter dud. It was the worst fight of the night. There's no doubt about it. I mean, thank God I was watching the home run derby at that point because I found out about Giancarlo Stanton at that point had just gone all ape and just started hitting like a whole bunch of home runs and I heard he put one almost out of target field tonight. It was that awesome. And there's really nothing else to say. Yes, palm face would be the right word to say Anthony Florio. Hell, I think I could do the double palm face a la the Star Trek days with Patrick Stewart as the captain, and everybody remembers those. So whatever the case may be, definitely the biggest dud of the night, and I hate to say it, maybe one of the worst fights of the year for WWE. I mean, it was a total crap fest. Anthony, go.
You see the photo on my screen. I think that pretty much says it all there. The face palm, the bear face palm here. Face palm, even this bear thing, that's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. I mean, oh, God almighty. I mean, this was terrible. I mean, this was straight up terrible. This was an absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night. It was a zonk. It was a clunk. I don't know what else there is to say about it. I mean, Flex likes to pull out the zonk from Let's Make a Deal. I could pull out, from another old school game show, The Treasure Hunt, a clunk. That's exactly what this was. This was an absolute clunk. That's all there is to it. So, you know what? I could probably do a portmanteau here. It was a zonk clunk. That's what it was. A zonk clunk. This was god awful. This was terrible. Great Khali. I mean, are you sure this is the same guy who on this very night 7 years ago won the World Heavyweight Championship in that Battle Royal on SmackDown, and then on this very day, and on this actual day, 7 years ago, successfully defended against Dave Bautista and Kane in a triple threat match at the Great American Bash in 2007 in San Jose, California? Are you sure it's that? Are you sure that it's that same guy? Wow, that's all there is to it. How the mighty have fallen when it comes to the Great Khali. I mean, here's a guy who, when he first debuted, had a lot of fanfare. Was a dominant monster and all that. He was a monster badass heel. Fun to watch at that point. Yep, there it is, Flex. There's the Zonk right there. I mean, that's the Zonk logo from the Let's Make a Deal, if you will. I mean, we really can't use the music on here because we don't want to have any infractions here. But still, I mean, but to me, I mean, it is a zonk. But in all realisticness, this was not just a dud, but it was also a zonk. It was a zonk. It was a zonk clunk. That's all there is to it. Zonk clunk. That's all. That's all there is to it. I mean, 2 back-to-back dud fights. I mean, it's almost like that third hour of last Monday Night's Raw. Last Monday Night's Raw that brought the showdown. Yes, the whammy. Yes, we got a double whammy. It was back to back. We got double whammies. The AJ Lee. I mean, first we had to sit through an Eva Marie fight. I mean, you think that's bad enough? Having to sit through an Eva Marie match. Now we have to sit through the Great Khali fight or a Bo Dallas fight. Ugh. No. Michael Bullock, join me in that. No. Yeah. On behalf of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, that was a flat-out message to you, WWE, courtesy of the president and vice president of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement. So that's all there is to say about that. No. We will not stand for it, and we will not stand for anything like that ever again. I mean, if we were running the show, if whoever came up with it, I mean, I don't know who the maroon was who came up with this idea, but if that maroon presented me the script and he said here's the cheat sheet for the show tonight. What do you think? You want to do Bo Dallas against the Great Khali? You do? I got 2 words for you. Hell no. I would tear that script up and I would throw it in that idiot's face. That's all there is to it. I want something better. So that's all there is to it. So no squash matches, no showcase fights, no dud fights. You want to do a dud fight? Well, why don't you bring back that god-awful Russell Wilson? All right, let's just move on to our next fights. So with that said, we're just gonna move on. As hard as it is, we're just gonna move it on to our next. Well, at least it gets better here. We have an in-ring segment with the Nature Boy Ric Flair, along with the beautiful Renee Young, stealing my thunder, if you will. I thought I was the Ric Flair of our group. Nobody does that but me. Woo! That's how you do it, man. So that's how there is to it. I mean. So with that said, I'm going to throw it up. We're going to start it off with the man who I consider the Arn Anderson to my Ric Flair, Michael Fletcher, the Enforcer. So, Mikey, your thoughts on this segment?
It's the way of life. This is the 4 fingers that we always lived and we died by. This is what Michael Fletcher, Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, and our partner who's not here tonight, Derek Ferreira. This is the symbol of excellence. The 4 horsemen. Made them reign forever. I'll say this, man. Ric Flair, it was awesome. It's classic Ric Flair. It is the trail. I gotta say it. It's the limousine riding, jet flying, chick stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. Ric Flair was in Richmond, Virginia, and the crowd, they loved it. They were into it. They're into him. He's a legend. He is, Ric Flair has always been one of those guys where you remember him, you know him, you love him. Whatever he brings to the table each and every week, he used to be that guy. Millions of fans used to love him. The limousines were always one of a kind. The women used to be the creme a la creme, only the best. And let me say, he definitely showed it tonight, and it's always good to have some of the legends in the house, but to have them in Richmond, Virginia, which was definitely WCW country, guys. Richmond, Virginia, down south, Atlanta, Miami, down in the Texas part of the world, that was really WCW country. In South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, if you go down that Mason-Dixie line, down in Mississippi, down in Alabama, Florida, that was actually WCW territory. for a number of years, and those were really some of their best wrestling moments was from the NWA and WCW days. And that's why when you see guys like Ric Flair, and there was the promotion for Sting, I know it was for WWE 2K15, but I'll tell you, if you would have shown up tonight in Richmond, Virginia, if you would have been there tonight in Richmond, Virginia, that place would have blown. That place would have blown to see Sting. And I even said I probably would have marked out like a 13-year-old middle school boy back in the Riverside Junior High days, because I would have gone nuts if I would have saw Sting tonight on Monday Night Raw, because I, I don't think I could even say it. I don't even think words would even describe that moment for me. I would have been gone. It would have been off for me. But other than that, good segment, solid segment. Anthony, it's yours.
Diamonds are forever, and so are the Four Horsemen. That's ifs, ands, or buts right there. No ifs, ands, or buts right there. That's all there is to say about that. But then again, diamonds are forever, and so are the 14-4. So that's all there is to say about that. So, of course, and I know Derek Ferrer, if he's watching right now, I know he would agree with us on that sentiment. So, absolutely. So, great to see the Nature Boy Ric Flair. It's always great to see him. He was having a little fun with he was having a little bit of some fun there with Renee Young. But then again, who wouldn't? What a cutie she is. That's all there is to say about that. That's another sweetheart. How much I love my sweethearts. That's all there is to it. So, yeah. If I was Ric Flair, I would have done the exact same thing if it was me. But still, in all seriousness, this was a fine segment here. It was just to get him on the show. Richmond, Virginia, it is horseman country, if you will. A lot of WCW events used to take place there back in the day. I know one of those 1997 pay-per-views was there. I know one of the early '97 pay-per-views was there. I know that they hosted that. Yeah, so yeah, and then Renee Young basically asked him, "Who do you think is going to come out of the main event of Battleground as the champion?" Ric Flair says, "I'm going with John Cena," and all of a sudden that brings out Roman Reigns. But it was really Roman Reigns, coming out, getting ready for the main event, and they actually have a little bit of a moment there. They shook hands, Ric Flair and Roman Reigns did, and then all of a sudden, here comes John Cena, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and then he has a moment with Ric Flair where he actually presents Ric Flair with a championship belt that Ric Flair knows oh too well, the big gold belt. That's all there is to it. Class moment right there. Say what you want about John Cena, but John Cena, he's just like all of us. He's just a big kid who loves wrestling. That's all there is to it. And, he grew up watching wrestling when he was a little boy, just like all of us did. And, that must have been a thrill right there to share that moment with, of course, you got the two winningest champions of all time, Flair at 16, Cena at 15. You heard it here first. Cena's eventually going to pass him. That's all there is to it. It's not a matter of if he does it. It's just a matter of when he does it. I think it could be within the next year. That's all I can say about that. So, yeah. Great segment. It was a very good segment. It was definitely one of my highlights of the night for sure. So with that said, I believe Michael Bowles, did you go on this one yet?
No, I didn't.
All right. Your thoughts on this Ric Flair moment here?
All I can say is, it's great to see Ric Flair back, and it's always good to see the jet flying, limousine riding, wheeling dealing, his stealing, son of a gun, Ric Flair in it. At Monday Night Raw, and all I can say is, diamonds are forever, and so are the Four Horsemen. And he is the only two-time WWE Hall of Famer, and of course going in 2008 solo, and then of course going in 2012 as of course member of the Four Horsemen. And basically is looking good as always, and of course Renee Young gets to interview, and Flair announces, and Ric Flair, of course, doing his usual strut, and the woos going all around the arena. He basically screws Renee a bit more, and Renee basically wants a prediction for the Battleground Fatal 4-Way WWE World Heavyweight Championship match from Ric Flair, and Flair says there's only one man that can strike like a viper, only one man that can ride through hellfire and brimstone, and one man that he believes in. But the man that's going to be the man is, of course, John Cena. I mean, no surprise that he was going to pick John Cena to win it, and then Roman Reigns comes out and he respectfully disagrees, and of course, shake. I mean, well, of course, what I meant to say was the music hits of Roman Reigns, and as he enters, he shakes the hand of Ric Flair, and as Flair heads up the ramp, John Cena's music hits, and Flair gives Cena the sign of respect, and what a great move by Cena, basically handing Ric the big gold belt, and Flair holds it up, and that was a nice moment there. So yeah, so really nothing else for me to say except, Wario, let's get on to the main event.
And get on to the main event we shall. It was no longer a 6-man tag team match. It was a 3-on-2 handicap match. It was Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, and Kane versus the WWE World Heavyweight Champion John Cena and Roman Reigns. The fight ends in a no contest at an even 16 minutes. So let me see who's going on. Who goes first here on this one? I believe it's me on this one.
I think it's you. Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's yours, kid. It's
Fletch
yours.
Fletch let off the last one. So I will take this one. I probably would have to say maybe by default the fight of the night here, although I wasn't really wowed by it. I'd probably say this was a solid 3 to 3.25 star match. You know, it definitely set the tone for the 4-way title match coming up at Battleground. And but in all seriousness, though, we had a breaking news moment during this match. Seth Rollins, you saw it. Roman Reigns 360 over the top rope. He comes down on the knee. The X sign was thrown up by referee Charles Robinson, and I do have an article that I want to get up on here in just a moment or so. That I think there's more on this situation than meets the eye. So just bear with me for a moment as I try to get that up here. But it was a 3.25 star match. At least 3. I'm thinking probably more like 3 stars for this fight. Yeah, here it is. Seth Rollins was injured tonight in the final segment on Raw when he was clotheslined out of the ring into the floor by Roman Reigns. Rollins held on to his knee, and the camera panned away immediately. Off camera, the referee threw up the X sign, and medics came down to check on him. Rollins was said to be in a lot of pain, according to fans that were there. It appears that he had some sort of knee or leg injury because medics had to help him to the backstage area. Like Derek Ferreira always likes to say on our show, take that with a grain of salt, if you will. So, that's really all there is to say about it. So, apparently Seth Rollins, with an apparent knee or leg injury, had to be helped to the back by medics. So, Derek likes to say, take it with a grain of salt. I always like to say, read into that what you will. That's my tagline, if you will. So, when it comes to like a major breaking news story. So yeah. So that's the article I just found, courtesy of a wrestling news site that I follow. So yeah, there you go. So I'm going to give this 3 stars, and I'm going to say it was a solid way to close out what was, maybe not the best one in ever, but I thought it was still a very good edition, a solid but really not overly spectacular edition of the show. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the match and your thoughts on the apparent injury to Rollins?
Yeah, I'll pretty much say it was a 3.25 star match, and I thought this was an alright main event. Of course, the match had to basically, the match, of course, ends in a no contest. Of course, you know how we are when it comes to match ending in no contests. We don't like it. We don't tolerate it. And there was some good action in this main event, but like you said, the big story, Seth Rollins getting hurt. I mean, I saw what happened, and yeah, I mean, I mean, his knee injury. I mean, I thought it looked very bad when he was grabbing it, and Charles Robinson basically was signaling for the doctors, and he had to be helped to the back. And man, I mean, talk about a bad luck for Mr. Money in the Bank. And if this does turn out to be a real serious injury, Mr. Money in the Bank is going to be on the shelf for quite a while. And yeah, I mean that could be a huge blow when it comes to the WWE as of right now. So yeah, so pretty much touched on everything for you. So 3.25 stars to close out what I thought was I mean it may not, I thought it was all I mean turned out to be it may not have been the best Monday Night Raw, but you'll get our ratings when we get to it. So with that being said, Fletcher, it's yours.
I have to say it's at least a 3-star fight. I thought it was a very good way to close Monday Night Raw, but I think it could have been a lot better if it wasn't for that overbooked finish. But I think it did serve a purpose. You know, everybody got a piece in the end. Roman Reigns spearing John Cena, Kane getting RKO'd by Randy Orton, and with everything that went down, it just gives you that look that maybe we'll wait and see what happens on Sunday night, but I'll say this: at the end of the day, it was definitely a quality event. It was a good thing that we saw, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. But like you said, it was a good way to end what was a pretty, not that great Monday Night Raw. I mean, it was pretty much average to say the very least. But with that said, Anthony, let's go.
All right, so that's that. So with that, coming up now, it's going to be time now for our overall review of Monday Night Raw tonight. Um, I don't see Michael Bullock here for the moment. So, so yeah, I don't know if I should just throw it to you, Fletch, for the overall review if you want to lead it off, or if
Yeah,
you
that's
want.
fine. I'll take it.
All right,
That's
Michael,
no
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
I'll take it.
overall thoughts on the night show.
It's 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 is my official rating for tonight's Monday Night Raw. There was some segments that were pretty good, to say the very least, and then there was some segments that kind of really didn't leave, that left us kind of left to be desired. But I will say this: that after what we just saw tonight, um, I don't know. I kind of felt like it should have been a lot better at the end of the day. I kind of feel like we kind of left to be desired here. But I did like how the action did develop. I loved how the stories did definitely take the life of its own, especially with the Intercontinental Championship matches, because it was predominantly about them more than anything else. And then we just have to wonder about what the future might be, to say the very least. But I'll say this: it definitely was a good show, not a great show. More positives, kind of a little more positive than negatives, but we'll have to wait to see what comes up next. Well, this is it. This was the go home show for the pay per view. So, I mean, hopefully they'll get better, but we'll see what happens on Sunday night. That's all I'll say about that. 6 out of 10 is my rating for tonight's Monday Night Raw. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna say between 6 to 6.5 out of 10 for tonight's show. A little bit of a step back. We had some very hot shows. For the last few weeks, of course. You know, who would have thought? I mean, a year ago at this time, we had the best Raw 2013. I mean, it was a show we rated 9 out of 10. It was in the Brooklyn. It was at the Barclays in Brooklyn, which featured that awesome moment with Daniel Bryan and John Cena that closed out the show. I mean, a picture was worth 1,000 words once again. So, but unfortunately, not this time around. Yes, some good matches here. Of course, the main event by default was the fight of the night. I felt second best fight I would have to probably say was Sheamus against The Miz, and then you had some solid matches, some showcase matches, but there was a lot of filler. What else is new there? Quite a few dud enhancement fights, but you did have that awesome segment with Lana, Zeb Coulter, Jack Swagger, Alexander Rusev. I mean, I thought that was the segment of the night. Then the Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt segment, the opening segment with Cena, Reigns, and Ambrose, and the rest of those guys, and then the Ric Flair segment, that was fun too. But there were too many. There were just a smidge more positives than negatives, but the negatives kind of outweighed the positives on this one. You had those two Dart enhancement fights back to back. You know, AJ Lee, Eva Marie, and then of course Bo Dallas and the Great Khali. Don't get started on that. And then all the other fights were just there. So yeah, I would say between 6 and 6.5 out of 10 is the correct rating for this go home edition of Monday Night Raw. But make no mistake about it, that Sunday night at Battleground 2014, it's going to be, like I said, 11 gazillion billion times better than Battleground 2013. You heard it first. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your overall thoughts on tonight's Raw?
Yeah, sorry about that. Forgot to unmute my mic. I'll say 6 to 6.5 out of 10. My highlights is, of course, the main event, of course, John Cena and Roman Reigns against Kane, Randy Orton, and Seth Rollins. And then, of course, yeah, that opening segment with John Cena and Roman Reigns. And then, of course, you also had another good segment, of course, the segment of the night with Rusev and Lana and Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter. You had some all right matches with RVD and Del Rio and Sheamus and of course you had Sheamus and The Miz and of course you had two really bad matches. Of course, Eva Marie and AJ Lee and that awful Bo Dallas and Great Khali match. So yeah, so 6.5 out of 10. So you guys pretty much touched on everything else. So with that being said, Florio, let's put a wrap on this show.
Yes, and we will certainly put a wrap on this edition of the Wrestling Forum. Thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, we're gonna close out the show as we always do with our shout-outs. I'm gonna have Michael Bullock lead off on the shout-outs since he was supposed to lead off the last segment, but he was nowhere to be seen. So Bullock, I'm gonna have you do your shout-outs, then pass it on to Fletcher, and then Fletch throw it to me, and I'll do my shout-outs, and I'll promote the future content and put the capper on this. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your shout-outs first, if you would.
All right. Special shout-outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it is the Wrestling Forum or Strictly Sports. It doesn't matter. We really appreciate it. We thank you all so much for joining us here on this latest edition of the Wrestling Forum. And of course, only the positive comments, no haters. You all know that by now. Shout out to our super fans, Dee Dee Woodson, Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonball. Hope everything is all as well with you guys, and of course Kevin Woodson as well. We can't forget about him. Shout out to our friends from our high school days. Of course, starting off with the Grand Poobah himself, Derek Ferreira, who couldn't be with us tonight. Of course, keeping an eye, of course, on the home run derby that was going on tonight. Of course, well, we won't reveal who won it until when we do Strictly Sports Friday night. So you'll definitely wait to hear about that. So shout out to you, Derek, and of course also to Jimmy Alden, Al Brederson, Rob Parsons, and Eric Carrier, and of course Tom Souza, an original member of our brotherhood. Of course, to the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, and of course the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaisa Butler. So yes, that's pretty much going to do it for me. I'll save the rest of my shout-outs Friday night on Strictly Sports. So until Friday night, either 10 to 10:30 for an all-new edition of Strictly Sports. This is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, basically saying thank you all so much for listening to us tonight. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, the road at Fortune 4 style. Have a great rest of the week, everybody, and until Friday night for an all-new edition of Strictly Sports. Bye for now, my friends. So with that being said, Fletcher, your shout-outs.
Yes, indeed. I'd like to say thank you to all the great fans out there. You guys already know who you guys are. There's really nothing else to say. You guys are the best in the world. You're the best loyal fans that we've ever had, and you always have been there for us through the good and the bad. And we enjoy it. We love you guys. We appreciate everything you guys have. The support that you guys give us each and every week is it doesn't compare to anything. I mean, you guys, we do this for you guys. We hope that you guys laugh. We hope you cheer. Sometimes you might boo. You might disagree with the way that we talk or our views, and that's fine. We definitely appreciate it. We don't mind it one bit. But we do appreciate the support and the love that we get each and every week. And from Derek to myself to Anthony to Mike Bullock, we hear you guys loud and clear, and that's why each and every week we try to improve and make the show better for you guys to make it the most enjoyable programming every Monday night, every Friday night. So with that said, to the super fans, to Daniel Luttrell, to Jason Hittenbog, to Matt Ward, Dee Dee Woodson, to Kevin Woodson, to the entire Woodson family, thank you. Of course, to the Grand Poobah himself, Derek Ferreira, thank you, as always. To Megan Silva, to Kaiser Marie Butler, to my partner in crime, to my 2184 crew, the guys who actually asked me about the shows, from Jimmy Silva to Amanda Robinson, to Lori Diego, because she's a major John Cena fan, so I want to give her a little bit of some love there. You guys are always been there for us. To Al Bradison, Jimmy Alden, to all the guys in the junior high and high school days, either for Derek's sake, if you've been loyal to Martin Junior High, to myself, to Anthony, to Derek, and to Michael Bullock, who are Riverside, from the Riverside Vikings, the Riverside Junior High days, to all of us together as the East Providence High School days, and me. I was, for the years I was at CCRI, and there was some wrestling fans over there, like Kenny Rankle, like Ron Francis. To all you guys, I want to, Keith Flanagan, and of course, God Save the Queen, Keith. A little inside joke. Is a little inside joke. He's gonna kill me for that. I know he is. But I will say this, to all you guys, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We love you guys. Hugs and hand pounds. I'm out. Anthony, take it home, kid.
We'll do Fletch, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. I'm going to put the bow on this, but before I do that, of course, I'm going to do my shout-outs and then set the table for our future content here when it comes to our programming here. So with that said, that'll be in my shout-outs. Of course, we want to thank you all so very much for tuning in, as always. Of course, special shout-out to all of our tremendous fans out there who continue to make the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports, as ridiculously over as we are. So we appreciate that, as always. Of course, our super fans, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson and the Woodson family, Matt Ward, Jason Hixenbaugh, our friend from the UK, Daniel Luttrell. If you haven't watched his videos on YouTube, I strongly suggest you do. They're a big time fun read. That's all there is to say about that. Of course, our Grand Imperial Poobah, Derek Ferreira. Damn shame he's going to be with us tonight, but always appreciate it when he gives me the keys to the car. I am the heir apparent, I guess you could say, to the throne, if you will. So Derek, appreciate it as always. Show's in good hands as always, and But however, Derek will be back with us on Friday night for Strictly Sports, so definitely looking forward to having him for that. Another loaded show. I'll get into that in just a moment. Of course, the rest of our crew, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, the First Lady of the Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler, and of course the rest of our crew, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Bradison, Rob Parsons, they know who they are. So, of course, I'm going to save the rest of my shout-outs for Friday night on Strictly Sports. And I'm going to set the table. Here we go. Friday night on Strictly Sports. I have it right here. We will recap 2014 Home Run Derby, as well as 2014 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Carmelo Anthony. The news came out today that Carmelo Anthony is going to be staying with the New York Knicks. We'll get into that. We'll have an update on the Miami Heat after, the LeBron situation. As LeBron James, he's going back to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and we'll have an update on the Miami Heat after LeBron James goes home. And in our main event, here's the thing: when it comes to our main event, no Major League Baseball power rankings this week because, as you know, the All-Star break is going to take center stage. Of course, we strongly feel that a power rankings would be a trifle unnecessary. So instead, in our main event segment, we're going to actually recap the 2014 ESPY Awards. Of course, as you all know, the ESPY Awards are this Wednesday night, 9 o'clock on ESPN. I believe Drake is going to be hosting that, so check that out at 9 o'clock on ESPN. I mean, that's always a fun show to watch. In a way, I'm kind of like the most interesting man in the world kind of guy. When I say this, I don't always watch award shows, but when I do, it's the ESPYs. That's one of the few award shows I will sit through. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not really into all that glitz and glamour and snobbery. That's not how I am. But that's one award show I will definitely, put my eyes on the screen for, without a doubt. So once again, to recap the Strictly Sports docket, recap of the Home Run Derby, recap of the All-Star Game, Major League Baseball All-Star Game, Carmelo Anthony staying with the Knicks, an update on the Miami Heat about the LeBron James situation, and the recap of the ESPY Award of this year's ESPY Awards. That's our main event. No Major League Baseball power rankings, and then Saturday night, it looks like we're gonna have ourselves a big time moment here. We're gonna have ourselves for the first time in a long time. We're gonna have a formal Saturday night edition of the Wrestling Forum. According to Derek Ferrera's Facebook page, we're going to have ourselves a Battleground pay-per-view preview show on Saturday night. So I'm sure it's going to be. I know I'm going to be there. I'm sure Bullock will be there. It looks like Derek's going to be on this one. I don't know. I don't know what Fletcher's status will be. I don't know what time we're going to do it. But Saturday night, a Battleground pay-per-view preview show. Looking forward to that. And then, of course, don't forget Sunday night, Fletcher, myself, and Bullock will have our Battleground recap. Derek Ferrera, he'll stray away. He'll do his own Battleground recap. So around 10 or 10:30 Friday night for Strictly Sports, and then not sure what the time is, what the plan is for Saturday, but I do know that Derek Ferrera will be. I guess we're going to have ourselves a big old Battleground preview show. Looking forward to that on Saturday night, and then of course Sunday night, Michael Fletcher, he'll host on his channel Brace Bay 95 the Battleground recap show along with Michael Bullock and myself. So a very busy weekend comes starting Friday night. So it's going to be one hell of a weekend. That's all I can say about that. So that's going to do it for us. So until Friday night at around 10 or 10:30 for Strictly Sports on Derek Ferrera's YouTube channel, SLB 2008-09, and on SoundCloud.com. It is Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio for the Phenom Michael Bullock and the Cerebral Viper Michael Fletcher, and of course the Hardcore Pipe Bomb Derek Ferrera in spirit. It is once again Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio saying, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up 14-4 style. Have a great rest of the week, everybody. And until Friday night at 10 or 10:30 for Strictly Sports on Derek's channel, you've been watching the Wrestling Forum right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless and be good.